morning. Welcome. Two very good messages. The first one is there's Wi-Fi. You have it in the paper there, so it means you don't have to use your data. Second one is after me, it's just one more person, and then we've got a break. So great. My name is Michiel. Don't worry about the name. You don't have to remember it. I'm the responsible of SEO and SEM at SEAT. And before starting, I just wanted to get something off my chest. Because I was here last year as well. I was talking about why it's so good to integrate SEO and SEM. So I decided to start my presentation with a joke about Belgium, because I'm from Belgium. So I started, and I said, like, it's a very special occasion because seeing a Belgian person on stage is quite rare. Basically because we're 10 people. So we're a very small country, and when we're not eating chocolate, we're basically drinking beer, so making it physically to a stage is quite impossible for us. So yeah, here I am again. So then after my speech, after my talk, a guy walks up to me and he was like, hey, I'm from Belgium too. And I was like, wow, the country must be empty now. Yeah, and then he told me, man, you should be a bit more proud of your country, right? We're from Belgium, you should sell it a bit more. And I thought about it for like 3 seconds. And then I thought, if your national symbol is like a small kid in the streets of Brussels who's peeing, and then tourists fly in from Japan and China to take pictures of it, if your national sport is, during 1 week, drink as much beer as you can, and then after that week, the person that survives gets to be elected to PM and is our next prime minister for the next 4 years. I mean, quite difficult, right? So yeah, actually, the reason why we participate in football contests now that we've got the Clásico of Barça Madrid last weekend, the only reason we participate in football contests is to make sure that all the countries have like one common country to make fun of. And talking about World Cup, actually, I don't know if you know the difference between the Belgian national football team and a bag of tea. Huh? No. The bag normally stays in the cup. Okay, so yeah. So, hi as well, people watching at home. So I wanted to talk about something cool, and then Gemma told me someone else was already going to talk about it, so I'm going to talk about voice search. So yeah, okay, Google, agenda please. No, so that worked. Great, so what we're going to see today is we're going to talk about why voice search is so popular nowadays, why are so many people talking about voice search, what are some of the problems with voice search, so what's happening right now and what should be fixed. And then, and this is the most important part regarding SEO, how can we optimize for SEO? And then 2 conclusions that I got from investigating everything that we found. Because basically, as you probably know as well, there isn't much investigation at the moment about voice search. We've got a lot of newspapers, a lot of blogs writing about voice search, but not many studies. So what we've done in this presentation is recollect all the studies, plus some tests we did with SEAT as well, and just present it to you and share it with all of you. Before starting, I just wanted to start with ask you 3 statements and see your opinion. Don't worry, you don't need to talk. I know it's early. Just raise your hand if you agree on the next 3 statements. So the first one is, voice search has been with us for decades. Raise your hand if you agree. Yeah? So, okay. So yeah, people watching at home, no one raised their hands. Okay. Second statement. There's a lot of marketing value right now for voice search assistants. So we can get a lot of value in terms of marketing for voice search assistants. Yeah? Yeah? 2 people? 3, 4, 5? Okay, 6 people. And then the last one is, voice search is very good if you ran out of jokes and you want to find some new jokes. Yeah? Okay, yeah. 4 people. Great. Oh, 5 people. Great. So yeah, let's see. Some of the answers in the presentation. And let's get started with the introduction, which is also always interesting to do in the beginning. So if you want to be cool nowadays in marketing, if you want to be the coolest boy or girl walking into the meetings, you need to talk about these 3 things. No? If it's in the same sentence, even better. No? And that's voice search, blockchain, and artificial intelligence, right? Every newspaper, every marketing article, always mentioning the same things. And if it's possible, in the same sentence and repeating it over and over again. No? So we see that a lot, no? But actually, it's true because it is a preoccupation amongst marketers like us. And this is also confirmed by a study by Tune investigating the opinions of 350 marketers globally. So what Tune found is that voice search, well, artificial intelligence, big data, very important, but voice search as well, very important topic that preoccupies most marketers. And this is something that you see as well. No? You see this in newspapers and blogs, writing constantly about why voice search is the new future, voice search this, voice search that. So, everybody talking about it. So that's why we include it as well here in today. But basically, voice search has been with us for quite a while. So if we look at Google Trends data, this is what we see now. So we see that the biggest peak isn't during the last weeks or months. The biggest peak was in June 2011. Which is very interesting. Because in 2011, what Google did is they activated the possibility when you were sitting behind your desktop, you could click on a microphone, and then you could speak to your computer, and then that computer would search it, only on a desktop. So Google in 2011 already launched voice search. So quite a few years, 7 years already have passed. But voice search has been with us for quite a while, actually. The first mention of voice search is in this movie. It's a movie from the 60s. So in terms of digital marketing, we're talking about the prehistoric era, about dinosaurs still walking on the earth and all that stuff. But it's this movie, 2001: A Space Odyssey. I don't know if you've seen the movie, but it's very interesting because it's a movie that's 30 years old actually, and has like the first voice assistant with artificial intelligence. So we've got those two buzzwords now, and let's see at how it worked, because there was this computer, HAL 9000, who was able to think and speak like a human being. So let's just have a look at that fragment and see what it was all about.
Hello, Hal, do you read me? Hello, Hal, do you read me? Do you read me, Hal?
Affirmative, Dave. I read you.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
What's the problem?
I think you know what the problem is just as well as I do.
What are you talking about, Hal?
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
So everything Elon Musk is talking about like now, 30 years ago, it was already happening. No? So artificial intelligence taking over the decisions. And that brings us to the next point, no? So the rise of voice search. If voice search has been with us for quite a while, then why the sudden interest? No? Why the sudden importance of voice search? Well, basically because of this. No? Because if we can manage as a company to put machines in people's homes that are constantly listening what people are telling, we're getting a lot of data. No? And we can then use that data to sell or to nurture our other products. So data is very important because we're collecting it constantly. No? And we're collecting private conversations, we're collecting long-tail keywords. So that's why a lot of companies, like Apple with, what's it called? The voice assistant? Siri, no? Microsoft? Cortana, right? Samsung? Bixby, no? Very interesting, Bixby as well, because if Bixby doesn't know the answer, your phone explodes. Then we've got Amazon with Alexa, great. And then we've got Google with Google Home and Google Assistant, right? So a lot of companies, and they're all trying to get people to install their voice assistants and to dominate the market, no? Because if they can dominate the market, they have the monopoly and they get all the data. And this is something that we've seen before as well. If you remember back prehistoric era again, VHS versus Betamax. This is quite old, but it's also been a struggle between these two video cassette formats. In the end, it was won by VHS. And lately, very recently, we've got the battle between Blu-ray and HD DVD. No? So for some time, for some period, you could buy Blu-ray DVDs and HD DVDs in the same store, and some DVD players had, you had the possibility to play both, but in the end it was won by Blu-ray. No one ever talks about HD DVD anymore. So it's a battle that's going on and going on, and at the moment the battle is being won by Amazon. Huh? So we've got Jeff smiling because at the moment market share for Alexa is 71%. Google Home catching up. Alexa also has an advantage because it was one of the first voice assistants to be launched. And again, as well, these are data from the US. So we'll have to see how the European markets are going to react, how other parts in the world are also going to react. because voice search is predominantly a thing of the US, which is slowly coming to other countries as translations and language possibilities roll out.